Hello everyone, I am Manjeet and today we are going to talk about basic ColdFusion interview questions. So let's get started. First question is what is ColdFusion? Yeah, ColdFusion is server-side technologies like ASP.NET and PHP. It has advantages. You can see all these advantages here. Yeah, let's go to the next question. What is application.cfm? A ColdFusion applications are defined using application tag, and that means whenever you are doing a request, ColdFusion includes application.cfm codes in the beginning. Let's go to the next question. Can we have multiple application.cfm file in an application? Yes, we can have, but it will only include one application.cfm or application.cfc. Yeah, I have just added few tags which are important. Um, Let me just give a one-liner for every tag. CFSet. CFSet tag is used to declare a ColdFusion variable. CF output is used to print a ColdFusion variable. CF include is used to include a ColdFusion page or template. CF param, it is also similar to CF set, but it only creates a variable if that variable doesn't exist. CF scripts is used or help you to write ColdFusion without using tags. CF location, it is used to redirect to a different location. CF query is used to connect to a database, and CF query param, it is used to avoid the SQL injection where you can use a type attribute. Again, the CF stored proc is used to call a stored procedure, and CF HTTP, you can do any HTTP call, any web service call using CF HTTP tag. Uh, I have not given the details because it's quite simple, but if you want to know more details, you can do Google search. Let's go to the next question. How can you clear the cache? Cache are used to improve the page performance, whether it can be a query cache or it can be a page cache. But sometimes if in your development environment, if changes are not reflecting, you need to clear them. And you can use CF object cache to clear the query cache, or you can use CF cache action plus to clear the page cache. Yeah, and next is ColdFusion data source. This is important, right? To connect to a database, you need to first create a ColdFusion data source in ColdFusion administrator. And using CF query, and you can give the data source name, you can connect to the ColdFusion database. This is very important question. What are the difference between custom tag and ColdFusion components? Sorry. So custom tags were used before CFCs, right? CFCs, as name says, ColdFusion components, it looks more object oriented. And custom tags are nothing but a CFM page, right? So there are some important differences. Like for example, the custom tags have a single entry point. This means a custom tag can only do one operation. That means if I want to insert a user records, and if I am using a custom tag, that custom tag or template can only do the user insertion. While a CFC, if I'm creating a user.cfc, and I can have all my CRUD operation inside the CFCs. Right, in custom tags you cannot do the data validations, right, but in CFC you can do, because CFCs you are using CF function and CF argument tag, and CF argument tag allows you to use type attribute where you can restrict the input arguments, right. There are other differences as well, right. So let's go to the next question. What are the different ways to call custom tags? Technically three. The first one is quite simple one, right? CF underscore and the name of the file. Let's say if you have a user.cfm is your custom tag and you want to embed the code from that file, you just need to give CF underscore user. CF module you can use when you want to pass some arguments to your custom tags, right? And CF import when you want to import more than one custom tags. The next question is the difference between HTML edit format and HTML code format. The only difference is the pre-tag, right? Your HTML edit format does not include the pre-tag. The next question is how can you invoke CFCs? There are many ways. You can see all the ways are using different color. So the first one is CF invoke, quite simple. One, you can give the component name, you can give the method name, and you can store the return variable. The other one is using the CF object, like you can create an object and then invoke. The other one is using CF script, using create object. Again, you can create your object, and the quite simple one using the URL invocation. If you have any external executable files, how can you call that? Using CF execute tag. Is it possible to write ColdFusion in ColdFusion? Answer is no, because the ColdFusion itself is written in Java. So if you want to write ColdFusion in ColdFusion, that's not possible, but you can use Java or .NET technologies to write in ColdFusion. These are quite simple but important question. Is there any facility which prevents viewing of source code? Yes, it is, and that is CF in code. Is there any tag which can help us to avoid inter-site scripting attack? Yeah, the answer is CF timer. What is URL token? Session is quite important in ColdFusion, and we have seen in the one of the questions about application.cfm that you can use CF application session management to enable the session, and URL token is related to that, right? You can see that the session had three things: CF ID, CF token, and then the URL token. Sometimes what happens, user disables their browser cookie. In that case, you cannot track their session. So we use the URL token, which is nothing but the combination of CF ID and CF token. Right, let's go to the next question. How you can debug in ColdFusion? That is very important in any programming language, right? And ColdFusion comes with very simple debugging process. One is the CF dump tag. Without tag in the CF script, you can use write dump. So it can help you to dump any complex variables, right? CF abort just stop the execution. And this is a settings which we only say you need to do it in your development environment, because it will pops up all the debugging output into your screen. So yeah, these three things are used for debugging in ColdFusion. What is query in query? It is again important. Query in query. What is query in query means? Query in query means you are not connecting to the database, right? You can see what you are trying to do is you already have a result set using the first CF query attribute, and now you want to do a query against that query, not against the database. So it is important to understand. In that case, you are not using a data source attribute. Instead, you are using DB type, and this will be the name of the query. That's how we do query in query. In lot of paginations, this is definitely useful. What is the default storage for client variable? Yeah, there are three storages, right? Registry, database, or client. By default, stored in registry. We recommend you need to use store in client cookies. If not, then in database. It is again important question. The ColdFusion error handling, right? In any programming language, you need to handle the error because you don't want your end user to see the actual message into the screen. Uh, Try catch is very popular one. So in ColdFusion also we have try catch. Using CF try and catch, you can handle all your exceptions. As you can see that CF catch has type any, that means we have different types of exceptions. Any catches everything. But if you want to know how many other exceptions are, there are total 10, right? You can do different actions based on the different exception types. For example, you can have multiple catch block which says that if the type is application, do this; if type is security, do this. And at then you can always use any, because if none of those type matches, at least you know what to do with that exception. There are other important questions as well, but what we feel is these are the basic 20 ColdFusion questions. You should definitely prepare for that before you are going for any ColdFusion exam. So let me know how you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe so that you can get the notification when I will prepare similar videos. Thank you everyone.